Now on GMU at 6, 2 Utah lawmakers test positive for COVID-19 and what forced a legislative hearing online.
And a deadly start to 2021. Hear how many COVID-19 deaths Utah has already experienced since the start of the year.
Good morning. Several younger patients here being treated with a rare inflammatory disease or syndrome caused by COVID-19. Coming up, we're live with more on that syndrome and research from doctors.
Plus, I am still tracking that winter storm warning and winter weather advisory for our forecast region. You're watching GMU at 6 a.m.
Live from Utah's first TV station. Good Morning Utah at 6 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Brian Carlson.
And I'm Sarah Martin. It is 6 a.m. on this Tuesday. Today, we're getting a closer look at COVID-19 in children. Primary Children's is releasing a one-of-a-kind study this morning on an inflammatory condition related to COVID-19 in kids. ABC4's Jared Jutnini live in Salt Lake with more on this first-of-its-kind research already underway. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. Doctors right now treating several younger patients with multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, also known as MIS-C. It's a rare cause of having COVID-19, but doctors still don't know a lot about this syndrome. Right now, a cardiologist here is co-leading the nation's first study to understand how MIS-C is affecting children long-term and finding the ways to best detect and treat children with the condition. Doctors at Primary Children's Hospital say there are only a few hundred cases worldwide, but a few of them have been treated right here.
Of the handful of patients that we've had, one of them has required admission to the ICU, and that patient did need medications to help support their blood pressure.
Patients with MIS-C are attacked by their own bodies in response to COVID-19. That can include inflammation of the heart, weakening the muscle, and its ability to circulate blood. Now, the hospital plans to release more information on their research around MIS-C around 10 a.m. Coming up next, warning signs from doctors parents should look for. Live, Jared Jutnini, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Jared. New this morning, 2 Utah lawmakers have now tested positive for COVID-19. It comes on a disruptive day in the state legislature. Republican Senators Todd Weiler and Don Ipsen tested positive during their regular testing yesterday. And Republican Representative John Hawkins is now hospitalized for COVID-19. Now, this comes on the first day that people can visit the Capitol building to watch the state legislature. It was then that several anti-mask activists shut down one legislative hearing, forcing lawmakers to go to their offices and then participate online after a 5-minute delay.
Now to our latest COVID-19 numbers. We do have some good news here. Utah reported 859 new cases yesterday, a lower number than usual. That brings our state's total to more than 337,000. More than 229,000 vaccines have been administered across our state. 459 patients are being treated in Utah hospitals this morning. 2 new deaths have been reported. Our death toll 1,597. Let's take a look at our last 7 days. We're now averaging more than 1,700 cases per day. That's that green line appearing on your screen. Our rolling positivity rate now 19.2%.
And new this morning, January is turning out to be a deadly month for COVID-19. Nearly 1 in 5 of Utah's COVID-19 deaths have happened this month. The Salt Lake Tribune is reporting over 20% of the state's total deaths have happened since the start of the year. So far in 2021, we've had 328 deaths. The total number of Utahns killed by COVID-19 is now 1,597.
Southern Utah is getting a friendly reminder we are still in the middle of winter. St. George doesn't often get a lot of snow, but this week it's caused some issues on their local roads. UDOT asking drivers to be careful and slow down.
We've been out since this morning, plowing, putting material down, and they're passing us doing 80, 90 miles an hour.
Too fast. UDOT says it is smart to be prepared for an emergency. If you get stuck on the side of the road, have these items in your car: blankets, flashlights, jumper cables, and emergency lights.
Good morning. Could the director please pull up a live camera? We're going to go over what we're seeing this morning outside downtown Salt Lake City. Thank you so much for this gorgeous shot. We're still seeing plenty of clouds across the forecast region. And remember, we still have that winter weather advisory in effect as we track that storm system that brought us plenty of snow showers farther south yesterday morning. We're not done yet. Iron County, Washington County, parts of Kane County, you're still seeing a winter storm warning in effect until 11 a.m. this morning. And we are seeing a winter weather advisory that does include Summit County. So just keep that in mind for your morning commute. Apart from that, coming up in just a bit, we're going to go over your road conditions. We are seeing foggy conditions, icy conditions on the road, especially farther north as far as that fog is concerned. Earlier during the 5 o'clock hour, I did show you poor visibility that included Malad City. Now let's take a look here, Cedar City. Wow. See, you're not done yet. The concern, of course, is maybe taking it for granted. You're seeing a little bit of a break in those snow showers. That is not the case for this morning. You still have some more snow showers in the forecast, and we're going to be tracking those road conditions soon enough. I'll see you with your extended forecast, and we're going to go over your weather outlook, my favorite 500 millibar chart, the middle of the atmosphere. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Erica. Happening today, some of Utah's homeless population will get the COVID-19 vaccine. The Salt Lake Health Department has designated 80 vaccines for Utah's homeless seniors. They'll be at the 4th Street Clinic in downtown Salt Lake. The Salt Lake Tribune reports any extra doses will be given to homeless people with pre-existing conditions.
And right now, vaccines are hard to come by. Utah is feeling the impact of that national vaccine shortage. So far, 229,000 doses have been administered here in Utah. Salt Lake County, it's nearly 28,000 doses. The Salt Lake County Health Department says that's below what we're capable of, but it's all the doses we've had. Now, this comes as the co-chair of the President Joe Biden's COVID-19 task force says they're gearing up for a more extensive distribution plan.
I wish I could tell you there's plenty of vaccine and we can fill all these endless amounts of appointments. We can't.
Now, Governor Spencer Cox says Utah has administered 100% of the first doses it received 7 days ago and anticipates the same will be true for this week.
Getting the vaccine can be a frustrating process because of that shortage. Health teams in northern Utah are trying to make it a little easier by adding more manpower on days people generally have off. So the Weber Morgan Health Department is facing staffing shortages, but still they're making more and more of their staff available on Saturdays and Sundays to help people with language and technology barriers get that vaccine information. Still, the major problem, though, is that there aren't enough vaccines to go around yet.
So we do anticipate the number of clinics increasing over the next few weeks, especially as we anticipate the increase in doses potentially coming through the state to local health departments.
The department is looking for volunteers who have or even have not been vaccinated. If you're interested in helping, reach out on our website at abc4.com for information on how to sign up.
And new this morning, Google Maps will soon help you find COVID-19 vaccination sites near you. Google's CEO made that announcement yesterday. Maps will show you where those sites are and whatever information you need to get the vaccine there, like appointment information. The service is rolling out first in the U.S. before going to other countries.
And some national vaccine news. The White House now implementing more aggressive travel restrictions for COVID-19. Doctors have spotted 3 major mutations of the virus, and they're trying to contain them. So the Biden administration now restricting travel from 26 countries in Western Europe, as well as Ireland, the UK, Brazil, South Africa. These new variants are still a challenge because doctors need time to see if they'll respond to the vaccine.
Right now, the vaccines seem to be able to work against them. We need to be prepared to upgrade, and maybe even as a boost later on, or as a bivalent vaccine.
All international travelers, including U.S. citizens, must show proof of a negative COVID-19 test within 3 days of entering the country.
And here this morning, if you heard or felt a loud boom last night along the Wasatch Front, you're not alone. Fighter pilots out of Harrell Air Force Base are doing late-night training flights. On Sunday night, the 388th Fighter Wing tweeted they're doing nighttime flying this week. So those flights will last between, at least they'll land between 9 to 9:30 now until Friday night. So if you heard a boom or two, that's a fighter jet flying overhead. And in Utah County, a fit of road rage on I-15 turned into a shooting. 2 men were shot and injured, and it landed a man behind bars. Now, so far it's unclear what got the drivers so heated. But the Utah Highway Patrol says a man driving a truck on I-15 there in Lehi fired shots into another truck carrying a work crew of about 5 men heading to a job site. State troopers say the driver of that truck and one of his passengers were those who were shot. So far, those men are now facing long medical recoveries, while the shooter potentially faces a long prison sentence.
Potential charges here, you have aggravated assault, attempted homicide, numerous charges that this individual could be facing. It's just sad that individuals were in such a heated situation in their vehicles and neither one wanted to disengage, that it resulted like this.
Do you believe that? So travel on I-15 and the traffic in that area was backed up for about an hour and a half yesterday morning. And that was while troopers investigated the shooting.
Incredible. A high number of crashes have people worried about one of Salt Lake County's main north-south highways. Mountain View Corridor stretches 17 miles through the valley. UDOT reports that about 150 crashes happened on the corridor last year, the majority of those at the 118th South intersection.
People blame the drivers, which of course there's something to be said about that. But when, accidents keep happening on the same roads, on the same intersections, I just kind of feel like at that point you have to look at the design, look at the safety measures.
A UDOT spokesperson says Mountain View Corridor is designed to follow national safety standards and even goes above and beyond in some areas with advanced warning signals, additional signage, and programmable signal heads.
And happening today, Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall will deliver her State of the City address. The mayor's office says she'll focus on harnessing growth, environmental stewardship and resiliency, and creating opportunities for all of the city's communities. To see the State of the City address, tune in tonight at 7 o'clock.
And new this morning, the Navajo Nation Council Speaker has been chosen for a second term. Lawmakers chose Seth Damon to serve another 2-year term as Speaker. Damon served on a 24-member council for 6 years, representing a handful of communities around Gallup, New Mexico. The position now second in line to succeed the Navajo Nation president.
6:11's the time. Coming up on GMU, hundreds of millions of people lost their jobs in 2020. Hear how far it eclipses the jobs lost in the 2009 recession. And it's the little things that make this new movie with actors Denzel Washington and Rami Malek